From Top Gun to the latest Thor and Minions movies, summer blockbusters are making a comeback. Studios and theaters have been vying for moviegoers to return given COVID hesitancy and increasingly fierce competition from streaming services. And the big studios and streaming giants battling it out means there's no shortage of content for movie and TV viewers. NPR TV critic Eric Deggans joins us now to talk more about what we're watching and how we're watching it. It's great to have you with us, Eric. And I think, I like a lot of people, have, 4 or 5 streaming apps, yet can never find anything to watch. So help us out. What are you watching? You're the expert.
There's a bunch of great shows. Right now, Better Call Saul on AMC is in the final episodes of the series. It's going to go away in a little bit, and it's the best show on television, so people should definitely check it out. There's a show called The Bear on FX that has finished its first season run, but it's a really great show about a chef who returns to his family's kind of rundown sandwich shop and tries to run it. There's also a wonderful show called The Old Man on FX that Jeff Bridges is starring in. So a lot of great stuff on television and a lot of great stuff that you can catch up on pretty easily.
You mentioned The Old Man. We have a clip of it. Let's take a look.
Apparently, we can match the transponder's location to the location of the phone moving with it, and then reverse engineer the number. That one surprised me. I didn't know that was a thing we could do. I tell you this partly to remind you that you have no idea how different the game is than the last time you played it. And partly because you've got about 3 minutes before they're on top of you.
So it's hard to go wrong with Jeff Bridges and John Lithgow. What's that show all about?
So Jeff Bridges plays a CIA agent who was living under an assumed name for a long time, and suddenly he gets the sense that someone from his past is trying to kill him. And he thinks the CIA may be trying to help them do it. So he tries to go on the run. He has a daughter that he's trying to keep hidden as well, who he talks to. And he winds up enlisting the aid of a woman who's kind of innocent to it all, played by Amy Brenneman. It's a really interesting series that's as much about aging and about dealing with the legacy of all the decisions you've made as an adult. There are points in this show that can kind of feel like an acting exercise. There's a little too much, really sort of heart-rending scenes between two people. But when the show really gets going, it is really wonderful.
You mentioned the FX show, The Bear, which is streaming right now on Hulu. That's my favorite show at the moment. I will say it is stressful to watch, but it's enthralling. And as you mentioned, it's about this superstar chef who returns home to Chicago, takes over the family business after the death by suicide of his brother.
I didn't know my brother was using drugs. What does that say? As we got older, I realized I didn't know anything about him, really. He stopped letting me into the restaurant a couple of years ago. He just cut me off cold, and that hurt,
So
that's the actor Jeremy Allen White. Why is that show connecting with you, Eric?
What's wonderful to me about this show is that it depicts a very specific environment. The kitchen in a struggling sandwich shop in Chicago. I grew up in Gary, Indiana, right next to Chicago. Chicago has a very specific feel. They do a great job of evoking what those kind of sandwich shops are like and the way people yell at each other behind the counter, even though the patrons are right there and can hear them. And on top of all of that, this is a guy who was trained in some of the best kitchens in New York, and that he's trying to bring some of those values in there. And he has quite a tough time about it, but you get to learn a little bit about how those kitchens work. It's a great character study too. You eventually find out that a lot of the characters are hiding things from themselves, and all of that gets peeled away as you start to see them have friction with each other and try to deal with this situation that they're in. I really enjoyed the show.
Let's talk about Netflix, because they are changing their business model. So you're either going to pay more for your subscription or you'll pay less, but there will be commercials. What do you think? Are the glory days of streaming over?
I don't know about that. I think what is happening is that Wall Street is being forced to have a more realistic view of what streaming can actually do. Netflix offered this promise to investors and Wall Street that they could continually and constantly increase their subscriber count. And they found that in the wake of increasing their prices this year, in the wake of problems with inflation and people looking at their bottom line a little closer, and in the wake of a flood of competition from other streaming services like Disney Plus and Hulu, their subscriber count has gone down by about 1.2 million people. So I think we're going to see less spending on new projects. I think we're going to see them try to crack down on the 100 million households who are getting Netflix for free by sharing passwords. And I think we're going to see them try to offer a cheaper tier of subscriber. So if they'll offer you a much reduced fee and you watch a few ads, it might be a win-win for everybody if you think about it.
Yeah, the way we watch changing what we watch. Eric Deggans, NPR's TV critic, appreciate you as always.
Always a pleasure.